Yo, what's up, family? It's Aaron Belushi, you know who it is. The Unapologetic Nomads. We're unapologetically nomadic. Check it out who we got with us here. Hold on. We got the beautiful Michelle. And what's your name, sister? Benita. Yeah. Got the brother Damien over here. Yeah.
The old man.
Yeah, we got Ayla in the building. Yeah. And look who we got here. The international superstar.
Hey guys.
Intellectual superstar. Ousman Touray.
Ousman Touray.
Yeah.
So glad to be connected, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good to meet you, man. Good to see you. We see a lot of good things about you. And I just want to let you know, man, just keep going, keep your head up. Us in the U.S., we're rooting for you. People here on the continent's rooting for you. And you know, you have a good message, man. Yeah. So for the people who don't know who you are, could you just explain a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Ousman Touray is a Gambian. I graduated with my undergraduate program back in 2019 in December. So basically, I am known for my stand about the continent of Africa, and it's a stand that every genuine youth of the continent need to get. And that is to say, this continent belongs to us, and we actually have the solution. That we live in a very complicated world, and we must prioritize the things that work for us as a continent, and then we build on that. And that includes building on our realities. That is to say, our development has to be tailored by us, with our own experiences, with our own realities in the continent, and therefore we design. So basically, these are some of the content that I share with individuals. I share content on development. I share content on history, and also to talk about Pan-Africanism. So basically, these are some of the things that I do, and I think, yeah, that's generally who Ousman is.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm sorry for all the stuff going on right here. We're trying to get a better angle for you so that people can hear you, because the worst thing that could happen is you talking all this knowledge and nobody can hear. Yeah. Yeah, so how long have you been in Rwanda? Because I understand you're from Gambia, right?
Yeah. I came to Rwanda on the 30th of August. I've been here for a month now.
Okay. So how do you like it here in Rwanda?
Yeah, it's beyond expectation.
Nice.
When I left the Gambia, I had expectation. When I was coming, I decided, of course, about the country. And when I come in, I was able to see that welcoming
Nice.
in the individuals. I was able to see that organized society that we talk about. I'm able to discover the heaven for investment that people talk about in this country. And you can see that everywhere. You see projects going on everywhere in the country. And that shows progress. That shows the speed in which this country is rising. And no wonder today I call it the stars of Africa. This is the kind of model that African leaders need to see. We need to go in depth in comparative public policy, comparative social policy, look into the things that are working in certain countries like Rwanda, and then see how best we can tailor it down in the realities of other African countries as well.
Nice.
So, can you tell us how old you are? Because you sound like you have so much knowledge. Oh my goodness.
No, basically, I'm in my early 20s now.
Okay. So it sounds so much more beyond your years. Very, very eloquently, man. Just well spoken. And why Rwanda?
Yes. Thank you so much. I think when I said I opt to do my university degree in Rwanda, the first question was, why Rwanda? And I think Africans need to understand that we've looking up for a very long time. It's high time we start looking down. It's high time we start looking inward.
You probably need to speak louder.
When we talk about academic, it's beyond the classroom. Academic is beyond university structures.
Yes.
You know, knowledge is not transferred to university blocks.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be through a medium called wisdom, through vision. And societies has to be organized in those particular ways that will impact on the minds of individuals, give them their sense of responsibility. And that is exactly what I see. I see the transformative ideas, I see the transformation in the economic sector, I see the progress that Rwanda is registering now. And I'm someone who is very particular about development. So seeing these transformative ideas, seeing this process is what is behind my inspiration in the need to come to a country like this and breathe from the air of leadership, from the vision in the country, from the models of economic development. How do they attract investors to come in? How does the business sector work in this country? How were they able to build a unity, to unite a society that came from zero back in 1994 and, building that sense of responsibility and that unity at the top level of the society, that it is the development that matters. It is individuals' focus on registering a unified development for everyone within the country. Because today, if you travel in the country, what they tell you is, Rwanda, who are you? I am a Rwandan, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what Africa needs now. We need African countries coming together, uniting themselves. We need African individuals uniting themselves despite of our difference in culture, our difference in religion, our difference in tribe. Come together, work together as a people, because that is what matters. We are registering the colleges today because Africa doesn't speak with one voice. Africa finds it difficult to unite among ourselves. And if we want a model for unity, I think Rwanda is a good model. They introduced an internal tribunal system in which local authorities were used based on their own realities to settle a dispute which there is no other African country that has the same experience. So therefore, coming together is possible for the African continent, possible for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, because that is what we need. We have to unite ourselves, have power in our hands, and be the change for the continent that we want to live in.
Excellent.
Wow.
Well
Facts.
said. Wonderful. What, for those who are watching or new to just meeting you now, what are you studying in school? What is your major?
Yeah, I did development studies when I was doing my undergraduate program in the University of the Gambia. And development studies is an area where some people find it difficult to look into. And it is very key for the survival of any given society, because it has to look into across sectors, on the economic side, on the social side, on the political side, and the environmental side. So many dimensions, the leadership, the governance system. We look into all these details. And if you look into Africa, for instance, our problem in registering the development that we are supposed to have is as a result of copying development models that doesn't work for the African society. And the fact is that it has not been tailored for our development. Back in the 70s, that is what propelled the likes of Walter Rodney to develop a book called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, drawing lessons from colonial experience, from the Bretton Woods institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, and etc. The structural adjustment plan, policy introduced by Western powers to help European banks recover their own financial gains. And then, with the expense of exploiting resources in Africa, we've seen in instances where administrations in Africa were asked to reduce their spending on the public sector, to reduce, spending on employment, And we've seen how the structural adjustment plan have impoverished sub-Saharan African countries. We've seen how it cripples economies in Africa. And we've seen how it leads to Africans being trapped under unending loans and debts that we cannot ever pay. We've seen how it exposes us to that laziness mechanism while we wait for a special group of individuals to do things for us. Going back to the teachings of Garvey, he said any leadership that teaches you to depend on another race for survival, that leadership will enslave you. And that is what we see by institutions, that we see by superpowers, or so-called superpowers they call themselves. Africa must realize that it's sat on the resources that feeds the world. And therefore we have to grab it with value, we have to grab it with respect, we have to grab that as ours, and then we can register any development that we want to achieve as a society and as a continent.
This is a powerful young brother.
Yeah. So I want to ask, in your opinion, what do you feel the African diaspora, or what role can the African diaspora play to help build Africa, the continent?
Thank you so much for that brilliant question. That is a fundamental question that Garvey answered in his days. He traveled across the world and said, he have traveled to so many countries, but he have always observed that black people are the least developed in all societies. He put his resources, his time, his energy, all the things that he had, and invested in making sure that black people in the West can return to their home countries, can return to a place they call their home. And that is to say, we have individuals, blacks living in the diaspora, Africans moving to the diaspora. They control a lot of resources. They have skills, they have knowledge. They have been to so many places and they have learned a lot of things. It's high time that we come in and equip the next generation of Africans with skills, with knowledge, with that mindset of creativity and innovation for us to register the development that we ought to see. Africa is the future of investment, and we have seen multinational companies running to Africa. How do we make sure that we have our people in the core controlling the economy of this country? Is what we ought to see now. You go to any other part of the world, you see the nationalists of those countries controls the core of their economies. And yet that becomes difficult for the African societies. So we have to work with our brothers and sisters. We know that there exists a disconnection between us and them. And that is not supposed to be. We should not have a problem of integrating with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, because this is what they belong, where they belong to. None of those individuals choose to be where they are today. It was a system of dominance, a system of exploitation, in fact remembered as the most hideous act against humanity that led to our brothers being found in some of those areas today. Africa may not be an island. We may need other countries, but it has to be through a logical trade system in which we have a win-win situation, in which Africans have the control, they have the dominance, they have the power in their hands. But that cannot be if that unified force doesn't exist among ourselves. So we call on every individual in the diaspora as Africans. Let us start looking inward to come and invest in changing the narratives, to come and invest in changing the continent, and to register the development that we want to see as individuals.
Excellent. What do you think that disconnect is presently? What's going on between the Africans and those of us in the diaspora? What do you think that disconnect? You said disconnect is.
Yes. When we look at this connection, it's an identity issue, whereby some individuals finds it difficult to recognize the others without seeing us as a people first, us as a family first. So a disconnection exists because it is a systematical disconnection. where people who lives in the US have a disconnection with people living in Europe, even though we all share the same color, we all share the same blood as black individuals. But you come to realize that even in the African continent, we sometimes have a problem of accepting individuals as brothers and sisters. That is the disconnection that we're talking about. You can see also individuals, brothers and sisters living in the diaspora. They may have all the resources that they can spend in changing so many things in the African continent. But because they do not have the reality, the good information about the continent, they're like, no, that is not a place for me. Oh, I cannot invest there. So that is the kind of issues that we have to remove among us. We must be able to understand people in the diaspora as brothers and sisters. We must be able to understand ourselves within the continent as brothers and sisters. Because, we have this problem within the continent as well, whereby I, as a Gambian, find it difficult to understand brothers and sisters in Rwanda. Just yesterday, I was speaking with a group of individuals, and they asked me, but Ousman, you are a Pan-Africanist. Why do you still speak English, for instance? I said, I speak 4 different languages in Africa. African languages. But if I speak those languages, my brothers and sisters in East Africa will not understand me. So you come to realize that we have a systematical disconnection there. And it needs a holistic approach to change this narrative from the education system, developing languages into the academic field that will equip individuals with knowledge, with information, with skills, and yet they will not undermine their real values and identity. So a disconnection is a reality, it exists among ourselves. Do we have the solution? Yes, of course we do. So we have to work on that, building that unified platform, building unity among ourselves, and then we can register the success that we desire.
Right.
Nice.
A natural leader. What we see is one thing that you will possibly do in the future to kind of make some of these changes happen, because we need change and we need it now.
Yeah, I see myself as somebody who belongs to the academic field. No matter how far we go, we still remember the classroom. We're thinking about, investing in education, yet go back and impact on all the youths through academic studies. But then we have to work on practical issues of development, and that is why I am so passionate about these areas. In Africa, in so many instances, we see projects, we see development ideas run by outsiders who compromises with the reality of the African continent. And no wonder, that is why we find it difficult to get results. So, my perspective is going to be producing ideas and development, is going to be working with individuals, like just right now, we are about to launch a Rapid Africa plan, which is going to stress on a radical shift in development agendas and providing solutions and plans for not only private institutions but even governmental agencies. And there is a team working on that already. So not only are we going to limit ourselves on that, but we're going to make much effort in connecting people throughout the continent, be it Africans within the continent, brothers and sisters in the diaspora. We must have those group of individuals that can easily give them information, give them ideas on investment mechanisms, and do a lot of things on these particular areas. So Ousman as an individual is going to serve as a lecturer in the future. Okay. So yes, and development ideas, development platforms, these are going to be our focus.
Nice. Yeah, so you're a young man, and what do you do? What do you do for like fun, or just are you always like, is this your fun, like studying and learning, or like what extracurricular activities do you do?
Yeah, I think I definitely find fun in reading books. Okay. Yeah, that is something I do. But also, I do train.
Okay, you say you train?
Yes, mostly on martial arts.
Okay, nice.
Oh we can hide that for the viewers.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I really have passionate of.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm really passionate of.
What would you say to somebody in the diaspora? Because we get this a lot. They're on the fence about coming home or coming to the continent. But they just need that, I don't know, a good piece of advice. Word of advice. Like, because we're here because we've been here before. We love it. And sometimes people still don't get it. Even if you say it 100 times, what would you say?
Yeah, I think they need to understand that, dominance is not easy. And media dominance have long since been making this a difficult situation for many people living in the West. We have the mainstream media that doesn't show any positive picture about this country. They don't tell you about the growth occurring in Kigali right now, or in Rwanda right now. Even though in the global statistics, in the fastest growing 10 countries in the world, you have Rwanda in it. In fact, 3 of the fastest 10 growing economies in the world, 3 of them are found in East Africa. This is a plus, but these are not some of the things that you see in the media. They don't tell you. So it's high time we try to dig into the realities and let us travel. We have to go beyond, where we are. It's never fun for people to learn. I read this guy whom most individuals will know automatically. He was a Swedish statistic analyst, and he used to talk about the way in which media platforms have been, undermining, individuals' information in getting stuff about the African continent. You have so many statistics on business. There are more HIV/AIDS patients in America than in Senegal, in Africa. You find them all over. There are more than in Algeria. So, but they don't tell you. They just tell you that this is a continent that has negative pictures, and that doesn't attract investment for the continent. So we tell them to start traveling to Africa, discover for themselves what is actually going on. And we also call on support for media outlets owned by Africans to be supported by investors. The image that we want to see have to be empowered. I just recently concluded an interview with Africa 24, which is owned by Africans, and the objective is to make sure that that image that is not shown by mainstream media, it can be shown through their channels. So these are media platforms that Africans need to invest in, give them power, and help them grow. Because through that we can attract investment. We don't need an image that attracts aids and donors. It has not led us to anywhere.
Excellent. Wow. So what would you say to someone, let's say an African, born and raised on the continent, and you had this relationship between the, I don't know how, there's always this thing where we see each other negatively, we're fighting, and you always say that, right? So what would you say to maybe an African, because I'm sure it is the reality in some places, who may have a problem with someone from the diaspora coming and setting up and starting a business or doing things on the continent?
Yeah, I think to our brothers and sisters in the continent, we have to have that open heart. We have to be tolerant. We have to be ready to integrate. And in fact, uniting with our brothers and sisters is a strength. It is power in us. And nobody is coming, we don't expect people to come and impose negative issues. We expect individuals to come, mind with our realities, tailor down solution to the African problems. So working together is the strength. When we use Rwanda again as an example, one of the strategies that they use was after or post-genocide, individuals were asked to go back and work in societies as community workers. Because once you work together, you don't have to fight again. You have a common objective that you need to realize.
Yeah.
So those are some of the areas that we really want to see Africans to look into. Understand our brothers and sisters as people that we are related with. And we were only separated by a system that was not in our favor, a system that dominates us, a system that comes with control and exploitative behavior. So individuals who have gone through these experiences, they need comfort. They need to come in and realize that this is where they belong. So they need acceptance everywhere in Africa. Just right now in Gambia, we are promoting the automatic citizenship. We want to make sure that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora can enter the Gambia, and through a short period, they can apply for automatic citizenship in the Gambia. So it is a holistic process, of course, but we are working on it, and we're trying to see how we can introduce that in the parliament to make sure that we get the support from the people. I've appeared, in the national TV, in different platforms, making campaign, calling on the local individuals to support and give their support to our brothers in the diaspora, because we really need to connect now. It's now or never.
True.
We must set the problem, and we must be able to draw solutions to that.
Nice.
Even though it might sound small, that is change.
Yeah.
I can do that. That's a big change.
That is.
Appreciate that. And even here in Rwanda, we feel at home. We don't feel like we're on an island. We feel like there's support. Yeah. People care.
Sure, definitely.
So how has your experience been since you've landed and your adjustment here?
Yeah, it's definitely very good. I came in and it was purposely academic, so I was more inside with books, interacting with literatures, of course, making reviews of things here. And I've been able to connect, of course, with individuals in the country to talk about, ideas, to talk about investment, just trying to build a connection also with the Rwanda Development Board, which we are on the processes.
Okay.
And also with Seed Africa, which is a social, enterprises and entrepreneurship strategy for development, or we call it development strategy, which is also advocating for a lot of things, using sport to motivate young people to venture into issues that are going to be productive, like agriculture, entrepreneurship, providing ideas and advices to government agencies, building projects all over Africa. So those are some of the things that we are doing right now, and I said, Rwanda is a great experience. So
Nice.
It's definitely a good place to be.
Cool. So we understand that this is your last week here. So where you going? Back home?
No. I am going to move to Kenya.
Kenya, okay.
Yeah, I will be spending a few days, with some individuals there, including payroll manager. Yeah, and a few other Africans and other individuals who are working in different projects within the continent. So right now I'm just moving on a discovery program, sort of.
Okay, nice.
From one country to another before I finally go back to the United States.
Nice. Well, yeah, man, we definitely appreciate you and your time. We know you're a busy man, but we came here, you was, doing something. But yeah, we appreciate your time, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All of the knowledge and just the jewels you dropped.
Yeah.
Our viewers, for supporting you. We are behind you 100%.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you on your successes. And many, many more to come.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're fans.
Yeah. Hey, Ayla, do you have any questions as a young person from the United States of America?
I don't know.
Try now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. But we do appreciate you, brother.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, you can close this out there, Ayla.
Or can I get you?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it is. We closing out the live. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. And we are Unapologetic Nomads. And we're unapologetic.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can close it out.
The sound is pretty good.